Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is March 11th and we are getting into volume 30 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all the comments pulled up here, so we're gonna go one by one and answer your questions. Now, before we start, I'm gonna mention, like I mention in every video that I make on this channel, this is not a legal advice. I am not an immigration attorney. All the information that I provide in this video and all the videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS.gov and the Department of State. Alright, let's start with the first comment from GH Faridi, and I'm very sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Hello sir, thank you to reply. You're very welcome, thank you for asking the question. I'm in Indian. Please tell me how much your wait time for F4 category 2008. Okay, so I'm assuming 2008 is the priority date or initial filing date, and F4 category, of course, as we all know, it's brothers and sisters of US citizens, forced priority category, and it takes quite some time. I have visa bulletin pulled up in front of me, so I'm going to use this question as an opportunity to show everyone who's watching this video how to approximately navigate, estimate the wait times whenever it comes to the availability of the immigrant visa for family reunification cases. So as you can see, this is visa bulletin for March 2023. Every month there is an updated visa bulletin that comes out. I have done already a video specifically for March 2023. Once April comes out, I will make it for April, but if you haven't seen the March one, check it out, because there I raised some questions about the backlog and why it is happening. So we're gonna scroll down to the dates of filing. There's two graphs. There's dates of filing. There's also final action dates. Basically, date of filing is when USCIS have received your petition and they accepted it. So once you get that very first receipt notice from USCIS saying, hey, we have received your I-130, that's it. That is the date that is on that receipt. That is the date of filing. So we're gonna assume, for the purposes of this particular answer, that 2008 that Faridi is mentioning is the actual date of filing. So for F4 category, as you can see right now, as of March, as of March 2023, they are processing stuff, not processing, but the immigrant visa is becoming available for people who have filed back in December 2007. So we know that Faridi is also Indian, so we will have to take a look, because there's a separate, as you can see, column right here specifically for India. And the reason for that is you have all the countries in all chargeability area, right? And then you have 4 separate countries that have their own chargeability, and that's China, India, Mexico, Philippines. And obviously, as you can understand, as you can imagine, these 4 are have the heaviest numbers for the immigration, so they have their own chargeability. That's why they take a little bit longer. So for India, there's an extra 1 year. So, which means total, if for Faridi it's 2008, and right now it's February 2006, so it's just 2 years behind. So Faridi, a rough estimation of how much longer you will be waiting for this petition for the visa to become available is about 2 more years. Keep in mind, it's a rough estimate because these things can slow down. They can also speed up. So it's very rough. But I do recommend checking, every month. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do, because there will be an April update, there will be a May update. Every month I will make updated visa bulletin videos, so you are staying on top of your numbers. So I'm gonna make this so that Faridi knows that I have answered the question, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Enzama Dennis. Hello sir, I'm from Uganda. What are eligibility for DV lottery visa? Is Uganda in the list? Thanks. Okay, Enzama, great question. So whenever it comes to the DV lottery, that's a green card lottery, very, very popular. I mean, a lot of people are playing DV lottery. And basically you're submitting online. Make sure you use official government source, okay? .gov, always ends .gov. Do not use third-party websites. There are a lot of them, keep in mind. Another thing that I'm going to mention about the DV lottery, just to make it helpful for everyone who's watching this video, is that it's always free. There is no payment for DV lottery. There is no entry fee. please do not pay those fees on those third-party websites, because that's pretty much a scam. All right, that's what it is. It's a scam. There's only one way to enter officially for the DV lottery, and that's online through the official government website. That's it, and it's free. There is no fee for that. Keep that in mind. It's very simple too. It's a very basic application. I've actually done a video on it if you want to check it out. But to answer Enzama's question, Uganda is on the list of the eligible countries. There are a few countries that have the heavy immigration numbers that are not participating in DV lottery, but Uganda does. Now, whenever it comes to the eligibility requirements, it's very straightforward. It's very simple. Basically, what they're looking for is high school equivalent or 2 years of work experience. That's really it. That's really it. The main concerns whenever it comes to filling out a DV lottery, and why basically a lot of people, they get disqualified, or their application is not even considered for the lottery, is because they have trouble with pictures. They're very picky on the pictures whenever it comes to the DV lottery. You want to make sure that it's untouched, unedited, white background, clear, perfect in focus. They actually have on their official website, they have very, very clear instructions on how the picture's supposed to look. So pay really close attention to the pictures. All right, they're very, very important whenever it comes to the DV lottery. All right, I'm gonna put this, and we're gonna move on to the next question from Julius Nyabinda. Definitely mispronounced that, I'm sorry. I went online and got the questions, but did not see the I-130 form. Can I just continue filling the answers, or may this be a fake site? Again, in completion of the form, you say I have to print it and sign using a pen. Now, how will it be an online application if I print it, sign it, and send it? Excellent question, Julius. So whenever it comes to the form I-130, you can do it two ways, right? You can file it online, fully online, where you don't need to print anything at all, and you don't need to mail anything at all, unless later USCIS says, hey, we need additional documents. Those you might be, needing to send by mail. But for the initial application, nothing needs to be mailed physically. All right, it's all online, and I'm gonna show you so that you're sure about the website. I'll use this as an opportunity to demonstrate navigation on USCIS.gov, and that's one of the things that you want to look at. Whatever it is that you're dealing with whenever it comes to the immigration, doing your research, right? Make sure that you're getting your information from websites that end with gov. Never.com, never.org, never.net, never.anything else. Why? Because there's a lot of websites out there. There's attorney websites, there's blogs, there's even websites like kind of similar to this channel where they just want to help people. That's it. But here's the problem with the websites like this is you post an article, right? First of all, you want people to go and read it, right? You want traffic, you want people to look at it. So they always try to make it appealing. They always try to make it like a shocking, like it's crazy, something, immediately you need to know this, fast, hurry up, something like this, right? With government websites, first of all, you don't have something like that. Second of all, if something new comes up, it's updated first on the government website. A lot of times on these third-party websites, stuff never gets updated. So you're getting information from 2015, and you're thinking this is current, and then you realize that the category that you're even referring to doesn't even exist, or a visa that you were considering getting never even passed the bill that the visa was on, never even passed. And I see that kind of stuff. Like I get questions in the comments on this channel, people asking me, hey, what about this H5 visa? It never passed. It never existed. Yes, it wasn't a consideration to pass and have it, as a additional, basically temporary worker category, but it never passed. So it doesn't exist. But if you do search from these third-party websites, you will find all the information about this non-existent visa. But anyway, going back to the question from Julius, we're gonna go into forms, official again .gov, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. We go to forms, we go to all forms, and that will give you all of the forms that are available. You can just type in 130 over here, and it will pull up I-130 petition for alien relative. This is it right here. This is the link. This is the link that will tell you take you to online filing. You will have to create a login, a password for online account with USCIS, and that online account, once you log in, you will have a dashboard with very similar form selection. Like right here is going to be a scroll down where you can select whatever form you want and then start filling it out. Everything is online, the payment is online, all the documents are submitted online. Now, you can also file this form, and I'm going to take it back. You can also do it the way that I showed in the video, where you actually get the physical form, you fill it out on the computer, you print it out, you sign it, and then you mail it. I definitely recommend doing it online. It saves a lot of time. It's processed way faster whenever you do it online, and also you avoid making mistakes that you can make in actual paper application. Like for example with blank fields, you definitely don't want that. In online application, it doesn't matter. So I definitely do recommend filling it out online. So let me know if you have any additional questions about this. I think I've answered your question, and I think I more than answered your question. But if you do have any questions, any additional questions, anyone who's watching this video, do not hesitate to come and ask the follow-up questions, because I don't think that it's don't ever think that it's a dumb question or too much questions or anything like this. This channel is possible because of you asking questions, because of you searching for the information. So I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the next one from Shika Sharma. Hi, when I put all my details to view my I-94, it shows no records found. Yes, of course. I have contacted them through Ask Us a Question and have emailed them at least 10-15 times. Still no response. An update, please help. Shika, I'm sorry you're going through this. Unfortunately, that is the case with a lot of people, and I-94, they just need to fix it. There's something wrong with their online recording system. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just too sensitive, because if there is one single mistake in anything, your first name, your last name, your passport number, your date of birth, in any of those things, one little tiniest mistake that was made by the CBP officer when you were entering the United States, that's it. Your records are not gonna come up, and obtaining them is pretty annoying. It takes some time. So I would definitely recommend trying to reach out again. Maybe instead of sending them, emails and stuff, call them. I've done, I think, this is the video. So I actually have the phone number in the description of the video. Just call CBP and explain them the problem that you are having. I-94 is an important document. A lot of applications, a lot of petitions, they do require the I-94. But the best bet, really, there's not much else that you can do. The only other avenue that is left is to call them, and if you're still not able to do that, then you will have to go higher up above CBP and submit either some kind of inquiry or complaint and say, hey guys, I'm trying to reach out for the past however long, and I've already sent all these emails and tried calling and doing all that stuff, and still nothing. So I really hope you're able to resolve that. All right, let's move on to the next one from Talha Ahmed. Hi, sir. I commented in the previous video. Thank you commenting, Talha, I remember. But I made a small mistake there. Actually, our F4 visas priority date is on 2012. Okay, so again, F4 category, brothers, sisters of US citizens. Priority date is 2012 May. Our service center is Vermont Service Center. We got our welcome letter on 2021 January. There, our case creation ID is mentioned. The next process was paying the fees and so on. But after the corona pandemic came on, and then still now there is no movement in our case. I think that's because of the backlog. I'm from Bangladesh. Now, all I want to know is when we will be documentary qualified and when we will get our interview letter. Thank you. All right, Talha. Thank you for clarifying this. This definitely helps quite a lot. You're absolutely 100% whenever it comes to the corona pandemic. It really placed a huge dent on the immigrant visa availability. In the backlog, I mean, we already had a pretty bad backlog, and after the pandemic, because they were not processing anything at all, like the whole everything was just completely placed on hold. So the accumulation of the applications that are just sitting and waiting, it was pretty ridiculous. You know, whoever, I'm not even gonna go there. It's really, it's dumb. All right, just say it nicely. But priority date, you have 2012 F4 category. So let's look at the visa bulletin again. So date of filing, we will start from there, 2007, so you're about 5 years behind. Now, you probably did not get full access to the NVC portal just yet. I mean, you can log in and you said you cannot pay the fees. Probably because they are waiting, the NVC is waiting for that immigrant closer to the availability of that immigrant visa. Once it is about a year, maybe a little bit less, before that visa becomes actually available, they will open up everything so that you can pay the fees and you can get documentarily qualified. Once you're documentarily qualified and once the visa is actually available, that is when they schedule the interview. That's why they don't want you to get documentarily qualified way in advance, because there's still about 5 years. Now, again, keep in mind, this is very, very rough estimates, because things might speed up, and hopefully they will. I'm really hoping that they will, because now that, you know, they're back up and running again, maybe they will start kind of catching up. Although I wouldn't have too high hopes on that, because backlog, again, the way the backlog works, it's not really about catching up. It's really about not enough immigrant visas being available for permanent residents and for US citizens to invite their family, to reunify, if that's the word, to complete basically that reunification process. But again, patience, that's really the best, the only thing that there is. There is really nothing to worry about in your case, Talha, because I mean, you got the access to the portal, you won't be able to fill anything out, and really the reason for that is because you're just a little bit too far from the availability of that immigrant visa for now. All right, let's move on to the next question from Boss Mai. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing. Hello, sir. My dad filed my brother and my sister visa F2B. Okay, May 2016. And we received a welcome letter May 2020 with case number and invoice number. Okay, we log into the CAC site, but we can't pay the fees. Until then, we just keep waiting to enable the fee button, and the pandemic hit. My dad passed away. I'm very sorry to hear that. 2021, and my mom is a substitute petitioner. And our lawyer said that everything is fine. When we do the substitution, just want to know why my brother and my sister visa still no movement or improvement. Thank you, Boss Mai, for the question. Sorry to hear about your dad. So let's open up the visa bulletin. We're gonna look at the category. The F2B category is unmarried sons and daughters, 21 years of age or older. So unfortunately, whenever it comes to of permanent residence, whenever it comes to, I don't know why, but as soon as you turn 21, apparently something changes and you're no longer the child as you were before 21. I mean, you're no longer the child, that's understandable, but you're treated, whenever it comes to the immigrant visa availability, as a stranger, pretty much, because now you have to wait all these crazy times. I understand that, after 21, the culture where I come from, after 13, you're no longer considered a child. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the availability of immigrant visas. And I think that's not fair, because you're a child of a US citizen, whether you're under 21 or you're over 21. You're still a child of a US citizen. It doesn't matter. But that's not how the Department of State and the DHS and the Congress see it, unfortunately. But as when it comes to the F2B visas, dates of filing right now, they're processing stuff from January 2017. So if you had filed 2016, and then actually, you know what, if you filed 2016, I want to ask you a follow-up question, if you can comment. because looks like whenever it comes to the timelines, you have filed before what they're currently processing. Because right now looks like the availability for the F2B category immigrant visas are from January 2017, and yours was filed back in 2016, which is a year before. So I want to ask if maybe you're in one of these categories here, although even China and India, they're both kind of on time. Maybe Mexico and Philippines. So let me know which chargeability country you're from, so that kind of a little bit additional more information, because your case is taking a little bit longer. The only other thing that I'm thinking your case might be taking longer is because you had the switch with the substitute petitioner. Maybe that kind of prolonged the processing a little bit, because like I said, your case filed 2016, and right now they're processing stuff from January 2017, which is more sooner than your case has been filed. So your visa should have been already available, and at least you should have had full access to the NVC portal, where you can get documentarily qualified. So I would ask you to follow up if you can with which chargeability, which country it is, from which country it is, the petition, obviously from US, and the beneficiary, where the beneficiary, which country they're from, and also I would probably ask your lawyer, and because that doesn't seem right, I would ask your lawyer about the visa bulletin, and ask him or her, say, hey, on visa bulletin F2B, dates filed shows January 2017. We filed in 2016, in May 2016, and we don't even have the full access to the NVC portal. So it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right unless you're in one of these two, either Mexico or Philippines, because they actually do take longer, as you can see. But India, China, it's the same thing as all the other chargeability. So if you can follow up, that would be helpful. All right, let's move on to the next one from Aliyu. Hello, please can you help me to file for my I-130 form? Also, I actually have a video specifically or on the form I-130, how to fill it out step by step. I've already kind of showed. Here it is. It's actually still open here. You're filing it online, very straightforward. And I've done a video where I explain all the questions in the application, in the form itself. Here it is. I mean, it's very straightforward. You're just filling out your personal information of the petitioner, personal information of the beneficiary, and that's really it. And all of this is filed online. Again, I've done the separate video. It's uploaded to this channel. Check it out. Let's move on to the next question from Hadija Javaid. If we are all family members filing N400 together, so it possible we can do the one fee waiver for the whole family, or separate for each family member? Okay, Hadija, excellent question. So whenever it comes to the N400, you do have to submit separate N400 for each family member. All right. So with that being said, you do need to file a separate fee waiver for each application that you submit. For example, if it's for example, a husband and wife, right? They're both applying for the naturalization. They're submitting the N400. The husband will be filing his own N400, obviously with his wife's name in it. But the wife will also have a separate N400 with her husband's name in it. So that's two separate applications. So with two separate applications, you have to file two separate fee waiver requests. All right, so I'm gonna put this, and we're gonna go to the next question. Actually, not a question. Thanks for the information, Lani Nakao. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. Moving further, we got a few more. That one I answered already from Mark. So Rashmi Srivastav, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, probably am. Why in US every state have different waiting timing? Texas, California, and Nebraska have different time wait period. I really upset see the difference between states work process. If you feel California state have more load than Texas state, then why don't you shift some petitions from California state to Texas state? Please treat all petitions equally. California have 140-month waiting time, and Texas have 45-month wait time. So big difference. Rashmi, excellent point. I 100% agree. I think the reason why USCIS they broke it down by the territory, I think because they saw the equal numbers for the states where the petitions come from, and I thought that would speed up the process. Because if you think about it, if you have one huge processing center that processes all these applications, I mean, we are talking about some serious backlog, about some serious delays, all right? So breaking it down into different service centers is pretty good. I think it is a good idea. However, I think USCIS, they actually underestimated the states where that, because there are some states that are basically immigrant magnets, all right? Every immigrant, like New York, take New York for example. Most of the immigrants, they start their life in New York. Or for example, take, California, same thing, very, very heavy immigration in those states. So depending on which state, depending on what is happening with the immigration, where people are migrating, obviously you're going to have different processing times. I think you have a great idea of, if there's too much cases in California service center, transfer them to Texas center, transfer them to Nebraska center. I think USCIS should have done that initially. And that's why I say it all the time. Whenever it comes to immigration in general, unfortunately, the people that are in charge of decision making, whenever it comes specifically to immigration, they don't know nothing about immigration. To them, immigration is what CNN talks about, about immigration. They don't understand. They don't understand the process. They don't understand the petitions. They don't understand the availability of the visas. They don't understand the backlog. They don't understand the delays whenever it comes to the processing centers, whenever it comes to mailing, whenever it comes to interview. There's so many things involved, and most of the times, people that have no legal knowledge, no real education, they know better than any politician that we have in Congress whenever it comes to immigration, because they went through this process themselves. Because depending on, if you come here as a student, right? You start as a student, and then you change your status to a work, and then you get petitioned by your employee for a permanent residence, and then you get your permanent residence. Obviously, throughout this whole process, you've been through you got your employment authorization document, you got all of these steps, right? You're completing all these applications, you're going through these interviews, through these background checks, right? And then eventually you apply for your naturalization, you get your citizenship. All these steps, that's the accumulation of knowledge, of experience. All right, and most of the people that are, in charge of decision making whenever it comes to the immigration process, they don't have that experience. They don't have that knowledge, and it's really sad. That's why we have the immigration in the state that it is today. And I mean, what Rashmi is describing, California 140 months wait and the Texas 45 months wait, ridiculous. This ridiculous difference. And it's not even the worst, because if you look at the visa bulletin and you look at the condition of the backlog, and you realize that there are children of US citizens waiting years to come and reunite with their parents who are US citizens, you think it's like something out of sci-fi. You think it's like, no way, this is not real. In fact, I actually did get, I think one comment I think I got. The guy he didn't believe me. I was like, it's not me. You see the numbers. This is a visa bulletin, government website. It's not something I made up. Look, .gov, directly from the Department of State. These are the numbers, and this is what the people are going through. This is what the people are waiting for. So if you don't believe that a brother or sister of US citizen is waiting for 16 years of US citizens, 16 years. Meanwhile, people are just, crossing the border illegally, and then they're in the United States, and then tomorrow they get the asylum, and then a year down the road they get the permanent resident. While the brother and sister of a US citizen are waiting for 16 years to get there, and going through the background checks and going through all this all the medical examination and interview, and obviously all the fees that are paid. So it is true, the state of immigration is in very, very poor place, and if I can bring awareness, if I can make some kind of positive impact with this channel, that's right there is already more than I can ask for. And very last comment for today from Jonathan Moncheny. Thank you, sir. And with that, I want to say, don't thank me, thank you, because without you, without your questions, without you wanting to do your research and do it yourself and know the process, because I think these are the people that who want to learn, who want to know, who want to stay on top of their cases. These are the people that actually care, all right? And these are the people that will be an asset to the country. You know, they're the real immigrants. So thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. This video will be going live it's like 12 p.m. right now, so in like 6 hours at 6 p.m. Eastern time, every other day, or sometimes every day. I post these videos. You can tune in during the live premiere and ask the questions in the chat room, or in the comments if you want me to answer it later like this in the video. So thank you very much for watching. As always, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.